I stepped outside, taking in the scenery of this strangely familiar world. In the short time I was here, I had already found the similarities between their world and our own utterly fascinating. After all, we were talking about an unmapped place with a never-before-seen form of life. As far as discoveries were concerned, even something as simple as a new unicellular organism or even bacteria would have been remarkable. Yet here I was, standing in the middle of a village evidently built by this race of intelligent talking dragons, with a society not unlike our own. Reza didn't seem to share the same interest and instead was more smitten with the generator. But given our reasons for coming here in the first place, I couldn't blame him for his enthusiasm being focused on something else. My thoughts were interrupted as something suddenly zipped by me just a little too close, causing me to stumble back. It was a rather small dragon with a bag clamped in its maw who apparently had somewhere to be. Oh, hey, look at you. I regained my footing and watched as it disappeared into the distance. Even though I had seen enough dragons to recognize their variations in size, color, and other attributes, I guess this one must have been a juvenile of its species. Uh-oh. Jailbait dragon. Shortly afterwards, Sebastian joined me outside, having taken care of the tab. I gave her a generous tip on your behalf. I hope you don't mind. How nice of you. In any case, now that you've given us the PDA and Reza has a generator, you're free for today, so if you want to go anywhere in particular, let me know, or I could show you around town. Why don't you show me around town? I was tempted to be given a tour, but considering Reza's words, I wanted to be careful and not stray too far without knowing more about our world first. I think I'll stay home for today. I still have to get used to everything, you know? I'll just accompany you back then. There we are. Home sweet home, for now at least. Well, if you need anything, I'll be outside until my shift ends. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. See you tomorrow. See ya. Well, he's quite friendly, isn't he? I want to go, back to Anna or Adine. I want to go back to that diner. I hadn't really looked at the apartment today, so I spent the rest of the day investigating it and relaxing. I considered checking out some of the phone numbers Remy had left me, but I thought it was better to keep a low profile for now. I found the kitchen fully stocked with plenty of groceries, though the variety was wasted on me. I hadn't been a particularly great cook in the first place, but what was more, I didn't even recognize some of the things I found there. Whether they were edibles that we had back home that I just didn't know about, or something completely alien, I wasn't sure, but I didn't want to take the risk of eating anything I didn't know. After all, it was possible that some of the comestibles? The fuck? Might be fine for them to eat, but still be poisonous to me. I was also glad to find a shelf that was filled to the brim with a variety of books. While I found the subject matter of man, myth, or reality to be quite intriguing, I had to give up after just a few pages due to its exceptionally dry writing style, which I wasn't inclined to enjoy at the moment. In the end, I settled for an adventure novel about a dragon archaeologist who stumbles upon the remains of a long-lost human civilization, after which she is hunted by an evil organization who wants to use the found magical artifacts for their own, nefarious purposes. While entertaining, I had to admit that it reminded me a little too much of the trashy novels we had at home. I certainly found it amusing that certain tropes were not really unique to us as a species, though I wondered whether this kind of literature had fallen into disfavor here, as I had a while back where I'd come from. I was reading a particularly exciting scene in which the hero Sheridan uses one of the magical artifacts shaped like a pair of human hands holding a scepter with a globe at the top to prevent herself from being crushed and ground into a bloody pulp by an ancient human temple's moving walls when I suddenly heard the doorbell ring. Oh, look at you. I'm not sure if you're male or female. Why don't you come inside anyway? Hello there, would you please sign here? I'm not signing away my rights with this, am I? I've got a letter for you that requires signature of confirmation. I see. Looking over the clipboard the small dragon was holding out to me, I saw that the sender of the letter in question was Reza. There you go. I'm Lauren, by the way. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions? Still don't know if you're male or female. What's this about? I'm just making small talk. Wait a minute, I recognize you. You tried to do the same thing with Reza. Maybe I should report you to your superiors for having inappropriate behavior toward the clients. But it's important. Please, just let me talk to Cothrix for a few more minutes. You know how it is. If you want to interview with one of the humans, you'll have to get permission from the proper authorities. Help me out here, Cothrix. As an ambassador, you care about the accurate portrayal of humans in the media, don't you? Then you should talk to me, otherwise someone else will fill in the blanks, and who knows what they might come up with. Let me show you something. The small dragon opened his bag, rummaging through a number of letters and small packages. I think I lost it. Anyway, I wanted to show you some pictures of what people think humans look like. On some of them, they have 4 heads and look nothing like you. It's crazy. What are you, Lore? I'm a reporter? No, I'm just... Do you want me to remove him, Cothrix? Is what he's saying true? Yeah, I guess. I see. That sounds pretty interesting, though. Alright, you can leave your number here, and maybe I'll call you later, but that's all I can promise. Thank you so much! He quickly produced a small sheet of paper and scribbled his number on it. Afterwards, he sheepishly presented it with both hands. Alright, you got what you wanted, now off you go. Eee! God. Sorry about that. Don't worry about it. I guess that should be all. I'll see you tomorrow then. Right. With all the commotion, I almost forgotten that I was still holding Rez's letter. Within the plain envelope was a similarly plain sheet of paper with his handwriting. When I started reading, however, I saw that his wording was so full of pleasantries I knew he hated that I assumed every word of it was faked as to conceal its true intent. He did mention I'd know what to do, but I was unsure of how I was supposed to decode the letter's secret message. I didn't remember ever having a conversation about this topic with him, yet he still relied on me to remember whatever it was that I was missing, or he thought I would just be able to figure it out on my own. This is what it said. Hello, my dear friend. I hope this letter reaches you swiftly and in good condition. Unfortunately, we were not able to catch up earlier, so I wanted to write you this letter. How have you been these last few years? What have you been doing? How's our family? I felt like there's so much we should talk about, since we have not seen each other so much recently. At least we'd have a chance to do so in this form. Quite an exciting adventure we're going on now, right? How have you liked it so far? Made any dragon friends yet? Haha. Anyway, I'll be looking forward to your reply soon. Best regards, Reza. Various things came to mind. Only reading certain words or letters was one of I thought immediately, but I couldn't make out anything after trying to find a system with its array of letters and lines. Maybe I had to look at them more carefully. Read between the lines. Yeah, I'm not sure what read between the lines means. Maybe he's being sarcastic? Well, yeah, but he was already, yeah, I don't know. Look elsewhere for hints. Or maybe he referred to the fact that we're both given an apartment. Considering of the things they provided for us, maybe I should have to find the right object to decode the message. There are many everyday items here, though, and of course, I still had no idea what in particular I was looking for. Okay, cool. So it's actually more like a game now. So you look at the bookshelf. Bookshelf is stocked with quite a variety of books on different topics. Look at an individual book. May have something to do with the books. The shelf is full of them, but I suppose a hint could be hidden inside one of them. Draconic Desire. Yes, please. I was so young and naive back then. Barely having reached the age at which the arduous process of finding a mate, settling down, and starting a family became unexpected. Yet some of my peers interested myself with trials and crude and uncultured. I was lost in a sea of uncertainty, drifting, hoping to be found by one day. And then I did. How fast time flies when you're happy. I can't believe this was just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago I found the one, my truest soulmate there ever could be. Like a wrecking ball he came out of nothing, breaking all the barriers and entering my life. 2 weeks ago I was nothing. Today I'm the happiest dragon alive. Who knew that out of all people alive, it only took the right one to right life itself? Who knew that to meet the perfect one, the only thing you needed was... I don't think there's anything special in here. And who helped this mess ever get to print? Sheesh. Assault of humanoids from outer space. Arc 1. It was dark and stormy night. Relentlessly pouring was the rain outside, periodically interrupted by the loud echo of thunder again and again. So quickly had its roaring staccato. Staccato? Fuck, there's words in here I've never fucking seen before. Became that it was almost something like someone was pounding against the door. No, someone really was pounding at the door right now. The door swiftly opened, and the moment for which the house's owner had been waiting decades finally was here. Not on the field of battle do you meet me, human scum, but in the comforts of my own home to seek to assassinate me. Feel my wrath! May it lead you to a slow and painful death! He screamed at the top of his lungs. Your resistance will only temper my blade, inferior creature. Taste my blood and die from it. The reply rarely came from the human invader standing within the doorframe. Hero quickly stabbed him with his magipin, a lethal hit which caused the human invader to slump to the ground instantly, his last words being, Damn you, Hero, this is not over yet, while he melted into a red blotch, blotching up Hero's carpet. Hero looked up in the sky and realized all the thunder and rain had really been the UFOs of the invaders, numerous enough as to rival the raindrops falling from the sky. There was a moment when he knew it was too late. This meant war. Really? An invasion by human aliens? Is this what they think we're like? Well, we are kind of like that, so. Born to serve. Born to serve. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Arise from ashes. From the day I was born, I knew I was destined for greatness. As a member of the Avdonian household, nothing less was expected from me. My father, Avdon VI, made sure of that. My mother, however, was a worm. Not literally, mind you. She was not some sort of annelid squirming beneath the earth and living in filth. No, she was just what I would describe as the lowest form of life. Not concerning herself with matters of any importance, she instead sought to base her existence on superficialities. Not that it mattered much, as I grew to hate them both equally. For those who may want to critique me for saying this, I have no doubt of my father's political achievements, yet those who had to live with him know that these successes came at the price of his very soul, an empty shell of a dragon driven by nothing in his performance as a politician, not as a father. A politician, huh? I wonder what their actual government is like. Oh boy, I don't know if there's going to be anything in these. Price and Prayer. Preface. In the 1422nd year since our ascent to sentience, to the most extraordinary of circumstances in our politics and society. These events have been since buried in history until I stumbled across records of these tumultuous times. I've taken it upon myself to dramatize the events in a manner that is both accurate to history as well as entertaining to any reader who might have an interest in such stories. This is not just for my own personal gain, as I hope to make the story available to a larger audience than just a few who have permission to visit my archives. I believe the wisdom to be gained from this ensuing tale may be more relevant to us now than ever. Which book should I... Okay. Ixomian Sphere and How to Use It. The Ixomian Sphere and How to Use It. As a manual meant for the general populace, this booklet intends to bring you, the valued reader, closer to the uses and joys an Ixomian Sphere might have. I have taken utmost care to use simple language and instructions to remove the well-known barrier between individuals and knowledge of proper use of this most wondrous device. For interested parties, a chapter about the Ixomian Sphere's history and ideas for advanced applications can be found later in the book. Quick Start Guide. Step 1. Place your Ixomian Sphere on a flat, stable surface. Make sure that the surface is, indeed, stable and flat. Expert tip. Use a spirit level in order to determine if a surface is absolutely horizontal in order to prevent the Ixomian Sphere from rolling off the table unintentionally. Step 2. Plug your Ixomian Sphere into any fitting household outlet. Warning, make sure the Ixomian Sphere power switch is off prior to plugging it in. Step 3. Locate the power switch of the Ixomian Sphere. This step may introduce some difficulties, as many different models of Ixomian Spheres exist, with varying methods of turning them on and off. When we're in doubt, please contact your Ixomian Sphere's manufacturer to help with this step, if necessary. Now I know how to work an Ixomian Sphere, whatever that is. Read a bunch of books. Which book should I... Well, I already... Alright, so I looked at all the books and nothing useful came